Well, good Tuesday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. And thanks to Bailey for joining us this morning. Bailey, sunshine has been the headline starting the week in Anchorage, making it really feel like spring.
I know, it is finally feeling like spring after
I
know, right? After that kind of drizzly weekend that we had. And even looking across the state right now at these conditions, it's looking like spring all across from southeast to the interior, even into Anchorage. And even these temperatures sitting above freezing in Anchorage for our sunrise this morning, which was a nice way to wake up. And these temperatures are going to drop just a little bit as you make your way out of the door this morning. But right now, that sunrise is just about to peak up in about 20 to 30 minutes. Temperatures right now at 33 degrees. You can expect sunny conditions all throughout your day. Hardly any clouds are expected through the day today, and this is going to persist all across the entire south central region. It is sunny. These high temperatures are reaching into the low to mid 40s. You can even see reaching all the way as high as 45 degrees. And some areas of Anchorage may even reach that 50-degree high temperature, or at least near it by today. So that's going to be nice, especially as we warm up throughout this week, all week long. As we look ahead with our hourly forecast, sunny skies are expected. We will see some cloud cover begin to roll in by the overnight hours, but as you make your way to work this morning, expect just clear and sunny skies, making for a beautiful sunrise. High temperatures reaching up to about 42 degrees around 4 p.m. So you can brace for a nice afternoon if you want to get outside, do some walking, and we aren't really expecting any wet weather to return until about midweek, and this is true across the entire state. That next low pressure system will bring a front that we're tracking, and that's going to move into western Alaska by Wednesday morning. And Wednesday is really the day that we can expect some scattered showers to roll into the interior, even into south central. And for southeast, that's going to make its way to you by Thursday. Lots of those scattered showers extending all the way down into the southern parts of the region. Now for today, as we look ahead, cloudy skies expected through the interior and into southeast, clearing skies, mostly sunshine from southeast all the way into south central, and I'll have more on that forecast coming up.
Now to an update to a story we brought you yesterday. A man trying to sell a repossessed car allegedly ended up in a terrifying ordeal over the weekend, one that police say turned into a kidnapping at gunpoint. Some of the details about what happened aren't clear just yet, but after digging through the police report, Joe Allgood takes us to the scene and breaks down how investigators say it all went down.
Lawrence Jones was supposed to meet his brother Mark Kreider in this Fred Meyer parking lot on Saturday to help him sell a white GMC Yukon. But you know what they say of the best laid plans. According to the police report, those plans all started when Kreider had called Jones earlier in the day and said he was repossessing the Yukon to sell it to a new buyer. But when it came time to meet, Kreider wasn't answering his phone. Jones called Palmer police because he believed Kreider was being kidnapped. Police allege that is the case. Their report says two people, Marcus Sparger and Alexandra Perdomo, showed up at Kreider's house with a gun. Police documents also say that Sparger and Perdomo forced Kreider into his own vehicle, a 2001 Dodge Nitro, and told him to take them to the GMC Yukon. Kreider told police he felt he had no choice because Sparger was sitting in the passenger seat with a gun pointed at his head. While in the car with the other two, Kreider called Jones and told him to meet him at Fred Meyer with the Yukon, documents say. When Jones and the police arrived to the Fred Meyer parking lot, they found Sparger and Kreider, according to police documents. But Perdomo was nowhere to be found. She allegedly ran off in the Dodge. Police tracked her down and arrested her and also found the gun, an AR-15, in a black trash bag in the passenger seat of the vehicle. Both Sparger and Perdomo were arrested and brought up on charges of kidnapping, assault, robbery, and vehicle theft. Joe Allgood, Alaska's news source.
Monday on the Seward Highway near McHugh Creek, which is on the way to Girdwood, a rock fall occurred, leaving one vehicle crushed. Photographer Peter Jackson visited the spot and spoke with a man who saw it all happen.
We were headed down around McHugh Creek area, and as we came around the corner, there was a big kind of dust cloud coming off the side of the cliff, and we noticed some relatively large boulders coming off the side. We saw that the boulders had struck one of the vehicles, and we just jumped out and made sure she was safe. It definitely took a look at the windshield and the damage to the vehicle. It kind of hit the pillar, the front pillar of her car, and and didn't go completely through the windshield. And there was glass shatterings all over inside of the vehicle, and we noticed it was a pretty serious event. She was okay. She was very shaken up and visibly shaking and was pretty scared. Opened the door and she kind of got out, and we assessed her. She was fine. She had a little bit of shattered glass on her. I kind of made sure she was safe, and we got everybody out of the lane of traffic. I jumped in the car to get her car out of the road, and there was another large boulder that she had ran over. I pulled her car forward until the large boulder had high-centered me, and I backed up and just kind of powered through it to get her car off the road, get the highway back open. And while I was doing that, my dad was, and other people, there was a ton of other people, kind of kicking the rocks and rolling big giant rocks off of the highway. I've driven by there and had smaller rocks kind of fall into the back of my pickup before, and it is always a problem area. And they did that whole huge mitigation where they put up all that fence, but short of doing that entire stretch, it's pretty hard to catch it all. The boulder that hit her car never touched the ground before it touched her car. Everybody drives safe out there, and I think it's really important for Alaskans to take care of each other on the road. And if you see something like that, just stop and take your time and help each other out, because we all know that the roads are dangerous around here.
Meantime, the Alaska House passed its operating budget Monday afternoon, and the big question here is, how much is the PFD? After 3 days of debate and hours of back and forth Monday, the bill cleared the House with a $1,500 PFD and now heads to the Senate. We reported it could have been as high as $3,800, but that would have required a 3/4 vote. Senate leaders now say they're looking at a $1,000 dividend instead. Any changes, send it back to the House, then to the governor, who can veto items. Lawmakers must pass a balanced budget. Former Congresswoman Mary Peltola says her campaign pulled in $8.9 million in the first quarter as the 2026 race heats up. She says that's about 4 times what Senator Dan Sullivan reported for the same period. Peltola launched her run in January and says she raised $1.5 million in the first 24 hours. The Sullivan campaign says being outraised is not a worry, adding he has won before while raising and spending less. FEC reports for both campaigns are not public yet. More details can be found on our website and mobile app. The officer involved in the Mountain View shooting last week has been named by Anchorage Police. Officer Maxwell Horowitz has been with the Anchorage Police Department since 2024. There was a report of a disturbance involving a weapon at the 700 block of North Burgaw Street around 3 a.m. on April 7th. At the scene, the victim told officers they had been choked, there was an infant at the residence, and that the suspect had access to weapons. Police say shots were fired between Horowitz and the unnamed suspect. Neither of them were hit. A canine was used to arrest the suspect, who was taken to the hospital with injuries. The Office of Special Prosecutions will review the officer's response to the situation. Mat-Su-Borough School District families are now in week 8 without bus service. This strike between drivers and Durham School Services started March 2nd. Teamsters Local 959 calls it an unfair labor practices strike, saying talks have dragged on for nearly a year. Parents tell us it's making it hard to get kids to school, and some students are missing big chunks of class time.
They get to school maybe once every 2 weeks for a couple hours, as we're able to make it work. I've talked to the school, and what they do is prepare packets for the kids, and they're assigning online work. So we're juggling it somewhat, but it's not the same as being in class.
Lisa Foley says she's already seeing a hit to her kids' grades. Another Wasilla mom told us she was in cancer treatment during the strike and sometimes had to choose treatment over getting her child to school.
It's impossible. It's such an impossible situation to be put in, and something you don't really think is ever going to happen. Like, oh, am I going to have to miss my immunotherapy today? Maybe I'll reschedule it. I don't know if insurance is going to pay for a different day because it has to be on this certain schedule. So I guess I'm going to cancel school instead.
Durham says it meets with the union today to continue bargaining and says it wants a deal before the school year ends. The union says it has an informal agreement with Durham not to speak with the media. The Anchorage School District says it's hearing from frustrated parents after moving the start of school up by nearly a week this fall. The school board approved the calendar change last Monday after a contract deal with the teachers union added 3 more in-class days. Some families say they already had plans for that last week of summer, but the district says there weren't many options. Families were notified on Friday.
We apologize for the timing of this. There's obviously a thing with the AAA negotiated contract with the dates put into place, but once we knew what was approved and when it was approved by the board, that's when the communication went out.
Now, depending on grade level, students start August 13th or 14th. The new calendar runs for the next 3 school years. Still ahead today on the Morning Edition, it may be a bit of a surprise to find out that a team from Palmer has made a huge splash in the world of robotics, heading to and winning the championship, landing them at a spot in the World Championships coming up in a couple weeks in Texas. We'll take a look at this incredibly talented team next.
And check out your sunrise times for this morning with the sun just ready to rise from south central to the slopes. Stay tuned and I'll have that forecast coming up next.
Welcome back in. 14 minutes past the hour on this Tuesday morning. And look at there, a little bit of preview of the nice sunshine we're going to get later today. The skies are looking clear, Bailey.
Oh yeah, Kristen, it's going to be a perfect spring day in my opinion, at least for Southeast and even South Central as we look at our weather headlines. Although I said that, we do have some active weather on the way for areas like the interior and even into western Alaska as that next front begins to move in. But we get a break today, at least for South Central and Southeast. Lots more sunshine on the way for the rest of the day today. But that snow and wintry mix will return for both of those regions by midweek this week, which means tomorrow. It's already midweek. But as we look across the state right now at these current temperatures, pretty warm in Unalaska at 44 degrees, at 33 degrees for Anchorage as you walk out the door this morning, 20 degrees into the interior, and across Southeast reaching close to the mid-20s and even into the low 30s. Slightly cooler temperatures are on the way this week all across the entire state. But as we look right now at our satellite and radar, fairly calm as of right now. Today is going to be that hiatus from that active weather, but this right here is that frontal system. It's very weak right now, but it will begin to push into Bethel and other areas of southwest Alaska by tonight and even tomorrow morning. And we do have that winter weather advisory underway for Point Hope. This is mostly for gusts up to about 40 miles per hour. Not too much of a concern, but as we look ahead, there's that front making its way in by tonight into tomorrow morning into southwest Alaska. This is going to bring some very light and scattered snow and even some of that rain with these temperatures reaching just above freezing for these highs, but into south central, this is also where you can expect some very light rain to snow showers, even reaching up to the interior by tomorrow night. And this is going to include today as well. Mostly cloudy skies are remaining from western Alaska into the interior. That sunshine is holding on tight into south central and southeast. Southeast, you'll have your fair share of that wet weather returning by Thursday, even as soon as Wednesday night. But in the meantime, enjoy these sunny skies while you can. More of that snow and rain mix is going to move into areas like Bethel, mostly throughout the rest of this week. As we look ahead with our precipitation tracker, only light to scattered showers expected across the Aleutian chain. And then you'll notice the precipitation totals begin to build into western Alaska by Wednesday, even reaching up into the interior by Wednesday night, with even more of that scattered rain and snow mix expected into southeast by later on this week. But again, in the meantime, enjoy these conditions. Mostly sunny skies are going to track all throughout your day today, even reaching into Wednesday with these temperatures reaching into the mid-40s, even up to 52 degrees in Skagway. Meanwhile, into the interior, mostly cloudy skies are expected. Very faint flakes are expected into areas like Healy. Temperatures slightly cooler, especially into the North Slope, where we're tracking about 10 to 15 degrees below normal temperatures for today. But in western Alaska, an increase in that cloud cover will build for Bethel and McGrath. Mostly sunny skies as you make your way up north just a little bit more, but that storm is starting to roll through the Aleutians with more showers expected for today. Now across south central, mostly sunny skies, beautiful conditions with these temperatures reaching into the 40s all the way into the Matsu Valley, reaching up to 50 degrees in Willow. And for Anchorage today, those highs at 42 degrees.
A Palmer High School robotics team has put Alaska on the map after a breakthrough win in Minneapolis is sending them to the world competition. Jace Bertrand spoke with the Northern Knights about the robot, the strategy, and the moment that turned them into champions.
This isn't a scene from a sci-fi movie. No, this is the work of Palmer's very own Colony High School.
Our robot weighed about 85 pounds, I believe. with bumpers on it.
That robot designed to block balls shot at targets by the opposing team's robot.
There's a lot of more coding challenges as well, because you have what is called an autonomous period where your robot's running strictly on code. And then you have a teleop period where it's driver controlled.
Northern Knights business manager Carter Fickus says their team was paired with others from Minnesota, Illinois, the Czech Republic, Japan, and China. After alliances were made, it was time for the semifinals.
Being collaborative with other teams and being open to their strategy is great, because we were telling them, like, our main marketing strategy was we're flexible. If you want us to do something, we can do it.
The Northern Knights would not only win the semifinals, but the finals as well, securing them a ticket to the World's competition in Texas on April 29th.
Let's go!
During the competition, we'd kind of become like the fan favorite, because like we're the only team from Alaska. And then when we won, there's like everybody was jumping around. We had like a little like cheering section in the corner of the stand, separate from everybody else.
With just over 2 weeks before the final competition of the year, Fickus says the team is enjoying the ride.
Our mentality is kind of like, we've made it this far, so why not try our best? We're going to keep sticking with our defense strategy. It's what's working, and we don't really want to change because we know that could be detrimental to our team.
Win or lose, the Northern Knights have certainly made Alaska proud. Jace Bertrand, Alaska's news source.
The Northern Knights are funded entirely through private donations to their team. More information on how you can support the team can be found on our website.
You've been listening to the Alaska's News Source podcast. Subscribe to have the latest episodes delivered to your library automatically.